Richard Southern joins us now for our daily look at the top business stories with your own little quirks put in there, Richard. I always love how you tell them. And this is the first time I've been able to see you to say Happy New Year.
And Happy New Year to you, Sin. Great to see you, even though it's virtually seeing you. Nice to make your acquaintance.
Okay, so let's start with the controversial American chicken chain, which has opened a second Toronto location.
Yeah, and our City News cameras were there today. It's Chick-Fil-A, Sin, opening up their second location in Yorkdale Mall. And yeah, surprise, surprise, big lineups. This is a standard food court location, as you can see, so it's not a standalone store like the first Chick-Fil-A that opened at Yonge and Bloor. What we didn't see in Yorkdale today was the protesters that we saw at Yonge and Bloor a few months ago. Sin, you'll recall, many turn out to voice their anger about Chick-fil-A funding groups that oppose same-sex marriage and who advocate for gay conversion therapy. What the chain did, though, they're trying to change their image. In November, they said they're going to shift their charitable focus to education, homelessness, and hunger. They're trying to play down the anti-gay image. Their first store in the UK, and it closed after only 8 days due to protests. So they're going to try and change the image. Whether or not they'll be successful, I don't know. But clearly, a lot of people showing up at Yorkdale today.
A lot of people showing up. But I wonder what their sales are like after the initial surge of publicity.
In the States, they're the third largest fast food chain, $10 billion in sales last year, since. So it hasn't hurt them, at least in the United States.
Interesting. And it's interesting that they're starting out here in Toronto, in Canada, which is, you know, very proud of its gay community here.
Very, very much so. But there are still lineups at Yonge and Bloor. So again, people may be willing to brush aside some of the controversy to get one of those famous chicken sandwiches.
All right. Well, it's been more than a year, speaking of wanting food, since recreational pot became legal in Canada, and it appears that's putting a dent in the sale of another product, Richard. What's
passing
that?
On suds, passing on beer because of legal cannabis. We thought this might happen, and sure enough, we got numbers in today from Beer Canada. They said sales of suds down 3% over the past 12 months because of legal cannabis. We actually saw the same thing in the States. Beer sales fell in Colorado, Washington, and Oregon after pot was legalized. Since studies show that a lot of cannabis users, they don't mix it with alcohol, and they use it for the same sort of reasons that people drink, you know, to be more sociable, except you don't get a hangover with cannabis. And, you know, the beer giants, they're cluing into this. They're buying into cannabis companies. They think the next big thing is drinks infused with cannabis rather than alcohol.
Interesting. And I wonder what loopholes they would have to go through with governments to be able to sell that product.
Well, we're going to see that product in the cannabis stores here in Toronto. There's not going to be any alcohol in it. There will be THC, and it will give you that cannabis buzz. That's going to be on store shelves in the next few days.
Interesting. Okay, and industry insiders are sounding alarm bells, Richard, over the future of Toronto's housing market.
We got the numbers in for December, and while sales were down, Cynthia, prices continue to skyrocket. Look at some of these numbers. The average detached home price in December, $1.05 million. That is pretty much a record. It was up some 11% year on year. The average condo price now at a record $612,000 plus dollars. A lot of the activity came in the second half of the year. You know, the economy strong, interest rates low, and that housing market's in just continues to get more and more unaffordable for many.
I know. I mean, I hear kids in university constantly saying, I'll never be able to own a house in this city.
Forget about it. You're going to inherit it, or you are out of luck, I think, for many people.
Absolutely. Okay, and we're tracking a developing business story this hour, Richard. We're learning about significant layoffs at a major grocery chain.
Yeah, it's Loblaws just coming into 680 in City News, and Loblaws laying off 545 people as it closes down a distribution center in Laval, Quebec. There's apparently also job losses for Loblaws in Ottawa. We're not sure of the reason yet, but, you know, we've seen grocers move more towards automation. I did the story just the other month about Sobeys rolling out a cart that lets you pay for your groceries in the aisle. So we don't know if the automation's the reason here, but certainly that's the way grocers are going to get away from employees and more towards machines.
I think the entire retail industry is changing, and more people are using Amazon, for example.
And Amazon has those automated warehouses. It's not good for the human employees, and
that's for sure. All right, Richard, last but not least, what's happening at the gas pumps tonight?
No change for gas tonight, though. We're looking at a possible 2-cent drop on Thursday, and I'm back just after 6:30, Sin, with why you may not want to win the $70 million Lotto Max tonight.
Oh, I'd like to hear that, because I think most people would like to win it, Richard.
Tune back at 6:30, Sin.
All right, thanks very much.
Thanks.